What psychological time zone do you spend the majority of your time in? Are you the type of person who spends most of your psychological time living in the past? Do you spend more of your time in the present? Or are you the type of person who spends a lot of your time in the future? Because the way that you organize your time spent in past, present, and future within your mind-body system is going to have a great impact on your personality and on the way that you experience life. One of the things that I learned from Dr. Michael Hall, the most prolific author in the field of neurolinguistic programming, as well as a co-founder of the field of neurosemantics, is that there actually is an optimal and ideal way of distributing your psychological time between past, present, and future that is shared by the most productive people and the most self-actualized people. So if you're interested in learning about which time zones would be the most productive and optimal way of using your time, as well as what to be doing when you're in each of those time zones, then you're in the right place, and enjoy today's video. So there's an interesting thing about time, which is that as a word in the field of neurolinguistic programming, we would refer to the word time as a nominalization. Basically, that's a complicated way of saying that it is a verb pretending to be a noun. And a good way to test that is, have you ever walked outside of your house and tripped over a pile of time? Can you put time in your closet or in your purse or in your briefcase? If you can't put a noun, a thing, in your briefcase, then it's probably not really a noun. It's probably a verb in disguise. It's probably inside stuff and not outside stuff. And so as inside stuff, it's an interesting thing that each person has a different experience of their concept of time. And really, I'm wondering, first of all, which time zone do you spend most of your time in, past, present, or future? How much time do you spend in each of those? So if you kind of drew a circle and you made like a little pie chart, how much would be devoted to past, how much would be devoted to present, and how much would be devoted to future? And another great kind of self-awareness, self-journaling exercise is, after you make that pie chart and you split it up, the question is when you're in each of those time zones, what are you doing there? Because again, this is going to have a big impact on the way that you experience life and the quality of your life and the quality of your productivity in the world to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. So let's start out with the past here. So one of the big mistakes that I see in people, and myself included, is that when we're spending psychological time in the past, what a lot of people do there, and one of the bad ways of using the past, is to use that to relive bad memories. So we go inside bad memories, we relive them, even traumas sometimes, and sometimes we go to the past to kind of just spin around bad memories and to reflect on them in a negative way. And that's probably not the best way of using your past. So more productive ways of using your past, well, we can use our past to re-experience good memories. That's a great way to use your past. It's one of the processes that we facilitate people with as NLP practitioners, as coaches. We can use them for learning, right? So rather than taking a bad experience and spinning around it in a negative way, kind of judging, evaluating, regretting, all those kind of negative past emotions, what we can do is we can actually use them to learn. So kind of using the past not to re-experience emotions, but to learn from the negative experiences. And past is a great place for nostalgia. So just to kind of enjoy remembering over the past present moments that you've experienced in your life. So that's a better way of using the past, rather than using it to induce negative states in yourself and to bring up regret or self-judge past experiences and so on and so forth, using it for learning, using it for re-experiencing positive memories, and using it for nostalgia. What I'm proposing here is that to spend about 15 to 20% of your psychological time in the past and using it for those three activities. So learning, for nostalgia, and for re-experiencing positive emotions. So 15 to 20%, again, that would be a target, ideal kind of organization for past. Now let's kind of jump over to the future. And what I'll propose to you is that, again, what we're going to do with the future is we're going to aim to spend 15 to 20% of our time in the future. So if you have that ideal desired state of a pie chart, you want 15 to 20% for the past, 15 to 20% for the future. Now, where people go wrong in using the future is that they use the future to create negative futures for themselves, to imagine things that invoke fear or invoke anxiety in themselves, which is not, imagining worst case scenarios, stuff like that. It's not the best way to use your psychological future. What I'll propose to you here in today's video is that using your future is a great thing to do. We don't want to always be stuck in the now, in the present, because we want to be able to use the future as a tool for us to plan our life, to induce states of hope and desire, and to create a vision for ourselves. So 15 to 20% of our time in the future, visioning, intention setting, goal setting, and inducing states of hope and desire towards the things that we want to achieve in our life, planning out the things that we need to do to get where we want. Great use of the future time zone. So now what's left? Well, now we've got approximately 70 to 80% of our pie chart here left for the present. And the present, as you can see by that distribution of 70-80%, is where we want to live the large majority of our psychological time because, well, the present is where life happens. The present is where we take action. The present is where we actually do the productive tasks that will move us towards those dreams and desires and actualizing those plans while using the resources and learnings from the past. So we want to spend the large majority of our psychological time in the present where we can access states such as flow states. So we can kind of get lost in the moment, which again, if we're going to get lost in the moment, well, it's a good thing if you have planned out what you're going to be doing, spending that little bit of time in the future time zone. And so this is really an ideal way to use your concept of time as a tool rather than kind of an unconscious automatic program that drives you based on how you learned, based on your environment, your culture, your family situation growing up, that you can actually work towards moving towards a more desired orientation towards time and find ways to not only change the pie chart, so the percentage of time that you spend in each time zone, but also to work on changing the activities that you do while you're in those time zones. So I hope you found this video valuable. My name is Jason Schneider. I'm the founder of the Perception Academy, and I work with coaches, leaders, and personal developers to unleash the highest and best of human potential using cutting-edge psychological models such as neurolinguistic programming and neurosemantics. If you found today's video valuable, feel free to like it. Of course, feel free to subscribe to my channel if you'd like to get more content such as this, and share this video with anyone who you think might benefit. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them around this video. And I'm curious to know, where do you spend most of your psychological time? I'd love to hear about what your next steps are. So what's your percentage now, and what's your desired percentage, and what would be your next steps? So again, I'm wishing you a more healthy relationship with your concept of time and wishing you a great rest of your day.